Okay, Steve, so we know a lot of people go on diets and they lose weight, and then a few months later they put on the weight, or they even put on more weight. So what is the best way to sustain weight loss?
This is indeed an interesting question, because there is a multi-billion-dollar industry that's catering to people's desperate attempts to get their weight under control. What doesn't work is counting calories and trying to make it that way. We know that these well-known weight loss programs don't work in the long run. When you check people several years later to find out if they're now satisfied with their weight, what happens is you can lose weight quickly, but it's usually more a water kind of discharge you lose, and then that comes up again. So it's called the yo-yo effect. Yes. You lose weight and bounce up again. So the real sustained way to lose weight is to eat the food that is now going to be your daily food, instead of like doing some kind of diet, which means we're going to do that, lose the weight, then we're going to go back to having fun. You stay with a good food program that you enjoy the food, it's the food you can eat every day, and then your body just naturally starts throwing off this excess. I've seen many, many people who have succeeded after decades of frustration. And the way they do it is to first of all understand that you can only lose weight if you are satiated. In other words, you have to eat to the point where your stomach is pleasantly filled, and you can walk away from the table and not an hour or two later be looking for some kind of snack because you're already hungry and you never feel like you're getting full. The body demands a certain amount of nourishment, and if you satisfy that need, the body will just naturally come to its proper weight. So what happens is people try to diet, so they deny their body calories, low calorie, and the body doesn't have the sophistication of understanding what a diet is. For the body, there are only two states. There's enough food or there isn't enough food.
Okay.
And when your body senses there isn't enough food, its reaction for survival is to slow down your fat burning so that you can survive on this meager ration that you're now forced to eat. So your body now becomes slower at burning fat, which obviously is the last thing that someone who wants to lose weight will have, but this is the result. So it's often claimed, and I'm sure it's true, that dieting makes you gain weight. And in fact, I've read one study showing that they estimate that after 4 attempted diets, most people are then entering a state of some form of eating disorder.
Oh, really?
After 4 attempted diets, because it doesn't work the first time, it doesn't work the second time. After the 4th time, they're already getting into some very weird perceptions of food. As we remember, the Karen Carpenter from the 70s, who was one of the great singing sensations, and she systematically starved herself to death, to the horror of the world. So, someone who looked in the mirror at the skin and bones and thought she was overweight, it's quite a quite a tragic thing, and shows the level of confusion and weakness and illness that our society finds itself.
How is it that we become so deluded with our appearance to the point that people will starve themselves? Is it because of food, and we're eating the wrong foods, and then our mind, we develop a mindset that health is, beauty, and
well,
I mean, why would you want to starve yourself?
Yeah, part of the problem is for sure this ideal that people should be very thin. There's been a lot of talk about this, models and fashion people with these very thin bodies, that others are trying to do that. But it certainly is more than that, because part of it, I think, goes much deeper, and a reason why people don't lose weight is because the food they're eating is inferior. That's what the food today, when food is sold through the normal channels, it's basically companies trying to make money, and they're trying to get as much profit out of this as possible. So they're selling the cheapest food they can at the best price. So you have people eating food that basically is not really nourishing their body, And at a very deep level, the body senses it's not getting what it needs. And I think there's this then fixation with food and the need then for binge eating, which we find with also some of these eating disorders. And the whole thing just takes on a whole life of its own. And to really gain weight and be balanced, we have to be able to eat the food that we should eat all the time. That's like fibrous food, like whole grains and vegetables. Means eating fats that are not damaged by industrial production, such as organic coconut oil, olive oil, extra virgin olive oil. I find coconut oil to be a great tool in losing weight because of the fact that coconut oil contains shorter fatty acid chains. And these shorter ones, called medium chain fatty acids, they break down at such a fast rate that the body doesn't need to absorb them for processing through the liver. And that means that you get the energy from it, but not an extra uptake of food. So when you eat of an easily digested and very easy to manage oil like coconut oil, then the body basically relearns how to burn fat, which overweight people have lost that ability. And with the coconut oil, then the body burns fat, and as it learns to burn fat, the weight just drops off. I've seen many people in 1 year lose 35 kilos, which is in English pounds would be 2.2 times that. So it's a lot of weight. So what you have is a situation where people are doing the opposite of what they're being told, and then they have success. And if they do what they're always hearing, it's just one frustration after another. So it is quite an interesting situation if you like black humor.